No human individual can live a life which is separate or different from the way that person thinks. No wonder the good book says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Dearest viewer and listener, I welcome you to yet another episode of Life Spells Your Motivational Series with me, Nana Utupridako. Now, pearl number 16. No amount of knowledge acquired profits the individual, family, community, and society at large unless it changes the thinking patterns of the individual who acquires same. I can feel and imagine you thinking, trying to make a little sense out of this quote. But before you even go ahead to do that, have you ever wondered why the world is still struggling to find peace? Why the world is at war? Why the world is against one another? Why the human race keeps fighting, threatening, and antagonizing one another? Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, people, individuals against one another. Have you thought about it? Whilst we still have very respected, very learned and intellectual beings being part of us as a race. Ethnicity, tribalism, racial discrimination is everywhere. Yet we have people who have learned and acquired a lot of knowledge. Have you thought about it? It is all because no amount of knowledge that you acquire as an individual, as a group of individuals, as a family, as a community, as a society will benefit you until it changes your thinking patterns. How do you think? How do you perceive life? How do you see your own self? And how do you see your neighbor? Life has become so difficult for us to live as a people. Meanwhile, we were all born free, and the purpose for which we were born was to manifest the power and the beauty of creation, of nature. So why are we struggling? We are struggling because our thinking patterns have not changed from the illusions. Our thinking patterns have not changed from egocentrism. Our thinking patterns have not changed from inward looking and selfishness. Yet technology is advancing. People are creating and inventing new things every day, every now and then. We are seeing new technology coming. This should be the time that life will be most peaceful. This should be the time that life will be enjoyed most by human beings. But what do we see? If a human being can spend time upon time at the laboratory to create a virus that will be harmful to fellow human beings, then you realize that it is not about knowledge. Because if you acquire so much knowledge and all that you can do is to use that same knowledge to suppress other people, then you cease to be human. Then you remain an animal. Then you cease to be a rational being, because that knowledge should have changed your thinking patterns to make you more humane, more human, more loving and caring. So you think and strive for the peace and well-being of your neighbor. This may be going too far for you, and you may see yourself not to be part of this one. But friend, I am saying that you and I have failed, and we are still failing to allow the knowledge we acquire on daily basis, the knowledge we acquire every moment of our lives, to affect our thinking patterns. So we read, we watch, we listen, we get the information, but that information do not transform our thinking patterns. That information does not change our lifestyles. We cannot live for others. We cannot love one another. We cannot sacrifice what we have. We cannot sacrifice our lifetime to better the lives around us, to make people more comfortable, to make other people feel that life is worth living just because they have us to be part of them. What did the world's educational structure do to us? The educational construct that has been since the world began chasing after civilization, what has that education done to us? Has it led us into knowing who we are and the reason why we are here on this earth plane? Or we just acquire that knowledge to make us feel supreme over others and thereby seek to suppress them and to bully them into submission? I believe I am communicating to somebody. I believe that if you have never taken time to ponder over these mysteries, to ponder over these miseries around us, the opener is coming to you now to prompt you, to awaken you, to start thinking along this line. Knowledge is advancing every day. Technology is advancing every day. Information is becoming more and more easier and cheaper to acquire. But how does it affect your thinking patterns? What are you seeking to do with the knowledge you are fervently seeking and acquiring every day? Dearest viewer and listener, no amount of knowledge that you acquire profits you. No amount of knowledge you acquire profits your family, community, and society at large until that same knowledge changes your thinking patterns. And what is the change we are talking about? A change of selflessness, a change of full commitment to better the lives of other people around you, a full commitment to making the human race a peaceful race, a united race. Not until the philosophy that holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, King of Kings, said there will be war everywhere. Are we at war today, or we are at peace? Your guess and your answer is as good as mine. But how did it start? And where is it ending? How did it start? And how is it going to end? Not until the knowledge that you and I are fervently seeking every day to acquire affects our thinking patterns, to make us humble, to make us peaceful, and to make us selfless, so that our yearnings and strives will be geared towards uniting the human race. The golden age we are all seeking to have will never come. You and I are the agents of change, and it is only you and I who can make life better for others to live. It is only you and I who can make this life worth living for ourselves and for society at large. But not until our thinking patterns have changed from the present evil to that of love for one another and peace, we can never achieve this height. Dearest viewer, dearest listener, to cut this whole discussion very short and brief, let me just remind you that as you think in your heart, as you and I think in our hearts, so are we. And we cannot live a different or separate life from the way we think. So this is the time to allow the knowledge, the information we are acquiring, to change our thinking patterns and to set us on the path of always striving and seeking the well-being of one another, striving to just be the agents of the change that the world seeks to see. I believe that this has been worth listening to, and you make that effort, that endless effort, to be a true agent of change whose thinking patterns have been affected and changed by the knowledge acquired. This has been Life Spells, and I am Nana Otufridakun. See you at the finish line and be an overcomer.